Do you feel sometimes dizzy or so tired that your brain's a little bit of confused and kind of your brain is nauseous? Not that you are feeling like tired, but your brain feels nauseous at the end of the working day. I did it previously, and what I found in my previous experience, it was happening when I was managing the projects, but at the same time I was still a developer while also helping as a team lead for the development at the same time. So I had many different tasks during the day. And you write reports and you write some descriptions of the tickets and you think about great and new functionality, all this together mixed continuously. And then you're kind of first you want to procrastinate on some specific topics, and also you really feel uncomfortable in the end of the day and a little bit like blurred or dizzy even. I will tell you why. Firstly, I'm Daria Balkanende, and I've worked for 20 years in the gap between business and IT, and I love to share topics and ideas and findings from both worlds. And also, I would love to contribute to the harmony at our working spaces. So, recently I had a consultation with the lady who is the owner of the ballet schools, multiple ballet schools in the Netherlands. She had an end of the year performance. They organized for multiple hundreds of people, beautiful performance, invited artists. And she told me that she hated some parts of this because she's an artist. She was doing, for example, reversals, right, with the children, with the artists, she was on the stage. But at the same time, people were coming to her and saying, like, how many chairs do we need to put in that row? Is there enough flyers? So she was not just doing the creative tasks. She was asked or forced, or there was nobody else to help her with the organizational tasks. And that's what she hated the most. Why it's happening? In our brain, we have multiple different types of thinking. We have, let's focus on three of them. We have systematic thinking, we have detailed thinking, and we have creative thinking. The interesting thing that when we are thinking in these three different ways, our different parts of the brain are actually working. For example, the prefrontal cortex work when we have systematic thinking, when we have detailed thinking, it's under, and if we have creative thinking, it's happening here and at the back. And the interesting thing, if detailed and systematic thinking can actually work in parallel, detailed thinking, systematic thinking, detailed thinking, and creative thinking, they cannot work together. When one part of the brain is active, another one actually not turns off, of course, but it's not active. So it takes for our brain time to actually activate the creative thinking. It's really energy consuming process for our brain. And then we have to switch to actually start to think in objects, in visual, I don't know, in our imagination. And then somebody comes to us and say, can you write your hour registration? And you're like, oh my God, because that part is off. You cannot write your hour registration. You cannot think about amount of the chairs in a row because this is detailed thinking. It's different part of the brain. It's off in this moment, but you have to. And then you are like, okay, I will do it right now. Wait. And then your brain just like, okay, this is off, this is on, switching here. Okay, now I can write. Your eyes are big, your brain is blank. Okay, now I will do systematic and detailed thinking. So you do this, you write your hour registration, you, I don't know, think about the chairs, and then 5 minutes later, 2 minutes later, half an hour later, okay, now we need to do a reversal again. Which movement do I need to make that it looks beautiful? Or which new functionality we need to create? How it will be the most comfortable for the business? Can you think about UI something? Your eyes are big, your brain is blank, you were just in the detailed thinking. That part is off now. And your brain again start to switch and off and come back. And then you start to feel annoyed, you feel uncomfortable. You may start feel dizzy, you may start get anxious even. It can lead to the depression because it's very difficult for our brain to switch all the time. What can we do? Because we have to do many things at our work. What I discovered before I went to the neurological science about this topic and read different research about it, I first understood that I cannot do within half of the day, or better, one day, these different topics. I even was telling to my bosses, like, okay, if you want me to lead the project, don't ask me details about the button. Really go or don't go into the code in the same day. I will make the great functionality, perspective, will make a perfect architecture. Please don't ask me to do these things in the same day. I will do it tomorrow. Tomorrow I'll focus purely on the deep details, development, bug fixing, I don't know, some feature descriptions, our registration. I will do our registration, but on that another moment. We can also combine it within the same day, but just please make, like, for example, some hours dedicated purely to one type of thinking. For example, in the morning, the best is creative thinking. Make plannings, make something or plans for the future, make creative ideas, and make a break. Go for a walk, make a real, not just switch. Give time to your brain to adjust, to switch, and then go into the systematic thinking for the end of your day. Your brain will be super thankful for you and really, really comfortable about this topic. This I use often at my work, and also I like to share it with my colleagues because I experience it many times when I see people getting like towards burnout. It's the moment when they're switching. Recently I had another consultation as well from the person of the support team, and exactly the same information. I was like, how often do you switch these different types of thinking? She's like, oh, I have to do it all the time. Please don't. You cannot physically, because how our brain works, you should not do it all the time. Please think about your day. You need to do this amount of things in systematic thinking and that amount of things in creative thinking. Split them. You'll be so happy at the end of the day, much less tired, feel much better, have more energy, more satisfaction, because you actually can complete a bigger chunk, a bigger pile of tasks within one type of thinking. Also, it's affecting procrastination, because if you have to do something like our registration, but you are in creative thinking, you will procrastinate this our registration, or you will procrastinate reversals thinking, because your brain wants to do things which are common to each other or like close to each other, because that's what he is already right now active at. And then you're like, oh, I'm so bad, I cannot do these things, why I'm procrastinating this time all the time. No, because your brain is just smart. It just does not want to do things of the way of thinking which doesn't belong in this moment. So respect it, because it's actually how nature made us. And then when you separate it, you have consciousness again about what you're doing, and you also understand what type of thinking it is and how to split it comfortably. I hope that will help you during your working time and also during your outside work time and bring some harmony. Thank you.